Welcome back, everybody. It is another edition of New Guitar Day, and today's new guitar is a used guitar. And I had to just go online so that I pronounced it properly, and I still may not get it right. But this used guitar comes from Guitar Center, New Braunfels, Texas. Is that how you say it? Braunfels? Down by San Antonio somewhere? Anyways, they had it for sale. It's been over 3 years since I bought a used guitar from Guitar Center. It's not a Fender, but it has the Fender box. And as expected, they're usually really good about packing their used guitars. They always have been. I imagine I'm going to get a boatload of bubble wrap and other packaging accoutrements. Yeah, that was nice. So they put a nice spacer there, more accoutrements. That might take a little while to free this. So I think what I'm going to do is spare you the noise and the irritation of the bubble wrap, and I'm going to unwrap it, and then I will come back and reveal it. So I'll be right back. By the way, I already said it. See, this is the problem with getting old. It is, yes, October the 17th, 2024. Okay, got that out of the way. Okay, so yes, you will be glad that I helped you avoid the bubble wrap. So anyways, what we have here is a Firefly. This is a copy of the B&G Little Sister. And as you saw yesterday and the day before, I picked up a copy from a company called King that does not have the cutaway. And I saw this for sale, and I thought, you know, yeah, I'm going to go for it. And it looks nice. We're going to check it out really quick. The only reason why I'm scrutinizing it is I think Guitar Center sort of blew it. They advertised this as being in excellent condition, which basically should be flawless. And I would not expect any guitar that's been out of its box to be flawless. Yeah, once it comes out, I mean, you can see on the back, you know, maybe it's just smuts. They probably should have cleaned it a little better. That's just my opinion. A couple interesting things about this guitar that I mentioned in the other video. The Firefly has the binding on the F-holes and binding around the neck. And the original version of these had the plastic, but then they upgraded. I guess people complained and were crying and whining and saying, wah. So, yeah. Whether that makes any difference, I don't know. I'm guessing this guitar comes in at about 6 pounds, like its cousin, the King. Thank you very much. These potentiometers are really, really tight. So anyways, I'm going to go tune this up and plug it in and give it a whirl, because that's the best way. And then I might not contact Guitar Center and whine about it because there's schmutz on the guitar. It would have taken their tech 2 minutes to just wipe it down. All right. Okay, we're back again. Of course, it is October 17th, 2024. It's a little later in the afternoon. Put some light on the guitar. Whoosh. So I played it for a little while, and it plays great. Couple interesting things to note about this guitar: the Firefly versus the King, which I will bring out in a minute for a side-by-side. But the headstock on the Firefly is tilted. Probably, I'm no math genius, certainly not as dramatic. I think Gibsons are 16, Epiphones are like a 14. This is probably like a 12 to a 14. So I don't know why that's different. When you buy a used guitar, you never know what you're getting. It's possible that somebody upgraded the electronics on this, But I will say that they're much more substantial as far as the resistance on the pots when you're turning it, and the output jack is much firmer. So again, I don't know if that's a quality of the original stock Firefly. Whoever owned this guitar before me must have not liked it right out of the box, because this guitar is barely played. I mean, I looked really hard for any kind of tick scratching here, and I saw there's absolutely nothing. So I'm guessing this person pulled it out, strummed it once, and went, didn't like it. There lost my gain. Back of the guitar, you know, I mean, you can see that it's been held, but I would have to say, unless I was going to really nitpick, that this guitar is as described, in excellent condition. Now, not that anyone at Guitar Center is ever going to watch this video, but if I were them, I would be mindful that you're sort of setting yourself up for potential failure. When you have a condition grade of great, and it gives you a little wiggle room, I would probably describe everything as great. I probably wouldn't go off into the excellent zone, because you're just really opening yourself up for, there's one tiny flaw, and so that means it's not excellent. And, I could be that guy. I don't think I'm going to be, though. I think I'm going to just make it, I can see some Firefly flaws, which is to be expected in this price range. You certainly don't expect Gibson Custom Shop quality control by any stretch of the imagination. If you were, you'd be foolish. That would be foolish. And I may or may not have mentioned, but they did let this out of the store. The guy who packed it incredibly well, obviously, because it showed up with absolutely no issues whatsoever. But he could have taken an extra 2 minutes and do what I'm doing right here, so that the customer, that's me, would pull the guitar out. Also, the strap button on the bottom of the guitar was loose and flopping around. 5 seconds, tighten up, good to go. But it's those little details that matter. So, I'm going to pull out its sister, its cousin, and again, they're both really cool guitars. But yeah, you can see quite clearly that the Firefly has an angled headstock, and the King is dead flat. I didn't notice any major differences with sustain or action, or I don't want the King to steal the show. And yes, I probably will put that funky blue tape on the Firefly for the time being, again, because my fingers do tend to drag on the guitar, and hey, the tape doesn't hurt it, and it's ugly, and I'm sitting home alone, and what do I care? These must be made in the same factory. I mean, the tailpiece is identical. The tuners are identical, except for these were upgraded or downgraded or whatever you want to say to the metal posts. But the side, exactly the same tuning buttons, same exact filigree, if that's a word, and it's interesting because the King has this odd little, I don't know what it is, there's 2 screws there and there's like a little bracket. Not sure what that does. Firefly does not have that. The fret ends on the Firefly are ball end, so they're absolutely without flaw. I can't really tell a difference. I mean, this is supposed to be a composite fingerboard, and this is supposed to be rosewood. They look identical. They're dark, they're nice, they feel the same. This does have sort of gritty frets. This doesn't. Again, maybe it came from Firefly that way. Maybe the person who owned it. I can't tell if these strings are new, but this tuned up fine. It's interesting because the person who strung this at the factory did mucho winds, where on this one, very minor winds, like, 2 times. So, but it seems to hold the tune fine, so I'm not going to bang it on that. So, I'm going to play the Firefly for probably a week before I come back and do the final analysis. But, all things considered, again, the flame on this guitar is delightful. And I'm guessing based on the King, and I can verify now that for sure on the King, it is veneer. And the reason why I know is that guy I was telling you about on YouTube who has the King and was demonstrating it with some like gritty Delta blues kind of guitar. That's his thing. He's also doing some work and some modifications, and he bought a couple of the Kings and he stripped one down, and he verified when he removed the finish that in fact it is a veneer top. Because if it had been a photo flame, which is about as thick as paper, his sander would have just taken it right off. So yeah, it actually is a veneer top. So I'm assuming that Firefly is the same. I can't verify it because, again, the F-holes are bound, and so I can't see, like on the King, the actual piece of veneer on the top. But I'm going to assume, because again, I'm guessing these are probably made in the same factory. But I don't know. Anyways, thank you for joining me. We will be back in about a week, and we'll give you a final analysis of the Firefly FFLS. And I'm guessing this is a 2024 model just based on the upgraded or the changed tuning pegs. So thank you very much. We'll be back. By the way, I meant to mention that 2 days ago, 82 degrees. Today it's 52. So yeah, there's definitely a change in the weather, but it feels good. It's autumn, as it should be. Thank you. See you next time. Welcome back, everybody. This is part 2 of the guitar review, comments, impressions. This again is the Firefly FFLS. This is the copy, recreation, clone, ripoff, whatever you want to call it, of the B&G little sister. Actually, I think it's of the little sister, stepsister or something. I'm not really sure how all that works. Today's date is November the 20th, 2024. Yes, it's been over a month since I got this guitar. Usually I come back much quicker to do my follow-up on the review. I've enjoyed playing this guitar so much, and its counterpart, the previous video, the King, copy, clone, ripoff of the B&G little sister, that I've played these 2 guitars exclusively for the past month and enjoyed every single moment. You really never know until you have a guitar in your hands and you spend some time with it what you're going to think about it. And, I bought both of these guitars sort of on a whim. They were within the budget guitar price. They were something that I didn't have. I've sort of reached saturation point as far as having a Strat and a Telecaster and a Les Paul and an ES and on and on and on. And this is sort of a mashup of a couple different styles and types of guitars. And so yeah, I didn't really know what I was getting into or what I was buying. And I bought them and I got them in my hands, and again, just really, really, really enjoyed these guitars. So, other than, unforeseen circumstances, both of these guitars will be keepers. Yeah, I think I'll pull the other one out just so that I can talk about both of them. And so I will free this one from its temporary place. So yes, so here is the King, and of course one is the cutaway and one's the non-cutaway. Now the cosmetic differences on the Firefly, probably pointed out a month ago, but I don't remember what I said a month ago, has the binding on the F-holes, binding around the neck. Yeah, that's pretty much the 2 differences that I can tell. rounded fret ends, which smooth, smooth, smooth. They claim it's a rosewood fingerboard. The King did not have rounded frets. It took a little work on my part to make them nice. They say that the fingerboard is some kind of composite. I don't know. This one feels a little smoother to the finger. This is a little rougher, but when you're playing, doesn't matter. I actually think I like the pickups on the King just a touch more, but I've made no adjustments, so it could just be an adjustment thing. I'm guessing these are made in the same factory. If you look at the inside of the King, definitely rougher. They took a little more time, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and smoothed out the inside of the F-hole. Other noticeable difference is the angle on the headstock. It's tilted. The King is just straight, like a Dan Electro, just flat, straight. So yeah, those are the two differences. Price-wise, also, if you want to see the absolute conclusive video about this guitar, our good friend Jimmy Stewart, he goes into detail. But you'll notice that this one has the metal tuning pegs. The earlier iteration of the Firefly, just like the King, has these big plastic PVC jumbo. Now I don't notice a huge difference. I don't notice a huge difference in tuning, stability. Obviously the plastic ones, because they're a greater diameter, when you turn the tuning key, they're more sensitive, so you have to just be very, very slow. Again, I have no idea if these are real veneer flame. They look like they move a little, and that's sort of the indication. This one I can almost verify it is, because there's no binding and you can actually see the piece of veneer. This one would be covered up by the binding. And again, just cosmetic. Does it matter? No. But I'm very pleased with these guitars. I'm really glad that I stuck my neck out. Again, the guy that sells the Kings cracks me up. When I bought mine, I think I was at, he had 200 and he had sold 259 and had one left. And I bought mine and now he's up to 281 and one left. So it's a good marketing strategy. And the Firefly, you don't see these available. I mean, when they were available back in July, they sold out pretty quick on the Firefly website, and most of the people that have them obviously have kept them. And the day after I bought this one, I saw this one at Guitar Center. It was $20 more than brand new, which is not a huge markup. And Guitar Center's shipping was $10 less than Firefly shipping, so it really ended up to be about 10, 15, 20 bucks more. And it was in mint condition, so whoever owned it didn't keep it long, didn't like it, and I was the benefactor of their choice. So again, I like these guitars. They're odd, they're strange, they're not what everyone else has, which is fine by me. And I just wanted to pass this on. I've got another guitar coming, which is why I wanted to wrap this one up and get it on YouTube for anyone who's curious. And the latest guitar will be here tomorrow. And it's another guitar that from a company that I've never, just like I've never owned a King, I've never owned a Firefly, and the new guitar that's coming is from a company called Diamond. And apparently they went through multiple iterations, which I will fill in and explain tomorrow. But yeah, it's an on sale guitar. It's a blowout. It's a fire sale. And it's purple, and I've never had a purple guitar before, and I have to confess that the main reason why I bought it was price. It's $149, and it's purple, and I've never had a purple guitar. And if I don't like it, I'm sure I can sell it for $149 if I don't do any damage to it or it doesn't have any major damage. So anyways, thank you very much for joining us here. Again, I highly recommend this guitar, although I don't recommend guitars because it's very personal. And yeah, who knows what you like and what you don't like. But if you're looking for something that's a little odd, a little off the beaten path, and like I said, if you want the specs on this guitar, Jimmy Stewart, our good friend, yes, he is. He always takes the time. He's sort of like the Mr. Rogers of guitar reviews, and I mean that with the highest compliment, because he's gentle and he's polite and he doesn't disparage anybody, and he's just an all-around nice guy. And he takes the time on his to give you things like the weight and the nut width and he gives you the specs. So go over and check him out, and there you go. So, and it is 15 degrees out today too. I just got back from my walk, so we're officially beginning the season of cold. We potentially have snow coming in the next couple of days, which we're long overdue for. Usually we've had at least a couple snowstorms by the middle of November. So hopefully we'll get some snow. And yes, so wherever you are, be safe, stay warm, and we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you very much.